all I had to start doing was getting up and training other people and I was burning loads of calories because I was heavy and whatever.
What did you go up to at your heaviest?
140 odd kilos, the heaviest I've been down. I'm like waking up at 83. Don't get me wrong, I weren't in no fight shape when I fought my debut in August. That's like over 6 months, like 8 months ago. You know, I was close to suicide.
Yeah.
I did. You know, I attempted it.
Yeah.
I was in the worst place ever.
Some man, they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em ain't like I'm Jack Shaw. Rolls hat, rolls back, my flow sharp like a hacksaw. Getting
Right, Up Podcast 2.0, episode 3, and we've got a very familiar face back with us today. We got the governor, as I call him. A lot of people know him as the Hammer, Jack Marshman.
Not so familiar face, so if you'd watched his last podcast.
Half the fucking man, half the man physically.
Fuck, into my head in that. Everyone remembers the 1 year I was fat. 84 kilo my whole life. 1 year fat, everyone remembers that one.
They don't remember your shape when he was
Yeah,
fat.
yeah.
He went in shape for 10 years. Like
Like a year and a half tops.
Well, good to have you back, but I think today people listen to this will hear a lot of things that they wouldn't be aware of. You know, close friends and family are fully aware.
Honest.
And I think it's quite inspirational. But when you talk about what you've come through the last 18 months, and to look at you now, really well, on weight, fighting again, tanned right there. You know,
that's the first thing he said to me yesterday. He said, "What time are we starting? Try to get your sunbed in before."
Gonna try to get a sponsorship with Lexington.
Making Jack's all pastier than ever.
I don't take a lot, to be fair.
But yeah, no, good to have you on back, and I think it'll be a good therapy session.
I've had a few of them over the last year.
Let's just kick it off. Obviously, you had your bare knuckle debut. What was it, back in August? And for years, I think, since coming out to the UFC, people always said, you're made for the bare knuckle, and because you've got such a good boxing heavy style anyway for MMA. Where did, because obviously there's a lot of time, or quite a bit of time anyway, between the Strickland fight and the debut.
Close to 4 years.
4 years,
So where did the inspiration sort of come from to just think, now's the right time, or not even the right time, but now's let me have a crack at that?
It literally started like when I started losing the weight and coming back to the gym, just training people to start with.
Yeah.
It's this is what I mean about like losing weight, and that is like people haven't got a lot of excuse when you think about it, in the sense of all I had to start doing was getting up and training other people and I was burning loads of calories because I was heavy and whatever. I just started losing weight, enjoying training people. I got excited when I was back in the gym and seeing all the boys train. You lot was all in camps, and as I was training other people and stuff. Yeah. And it was exciting to see. And then I just saw, when I started hitting a bit of pads myself after Gachi's wedding, I started training back with Gav Reese. Because I spoke to him at Gachi's wedding, and it just went from, I just fell for it straight away. I thought I wanted to go back and just hit some pads. Yeah. Hit some pads for about 2 weeks. I wanted to fight. You know what it's like. We all get that bug. But it just went from there. And don't get me wrong, I weren't in no fight shape when I fought my debut in August. That's like over 6 months, like 8 months ago. I weren't in fight shape. Weren't training for it properly. But I was in a better place than I was 6 months before it. Of
course.
But I weren't really in fight shape. But yeah, I was glad at it because it gave me a kick up the arse. I trained hard for this one, and things have changed.
Well, I've always said when and you know, we've been all honest, I didn't want you to take that last fight because I felt you weren't ready for it. Your toughness have got you through it, and now you've got a chance now, I think, to show the world just how good you are.
Yeah.
You know, because now you've prepared. And I always say to all of you, I couldn't care less if you lose, as long as you've trained hard, and if you're a better person on the night, there's no shame in it. Yeah. But there's nothing worse than wanting you that if you haven't prepared in a lot. And that was my worry for you. I thought you was in a bad place as well at the time, I think. Saying,
no, of course. No, I
mentally
wasn't
was in a
good
bad
place
at the time. And my
still
fear
drinking
was, drinking right up to the day of the fight.
Yeah, literally the day before.
And my fear was, you know, you'd struggle a little bit with your mental health over the past couple of months. Was it a loss on that? Could it spiraled you to a point that I don't even want to think about? Luckily, the cards fell as you did. You got the win. Yeah. You've got your life in order. And we are proud of you, but, you know, the turnaround I've seen in over the last few months, you know, just tell how heavy was you and what you weighing at the moment? Or did you go up to it?
140 odd kilos, yeah.
You
Yes,
know.
I've been down. I'm like waking up at 83.
Yeah.
I see 81 most mornings now after
Nearly,
training,
you nearly lost half.
Yeah,
of what you
that's-
was.
yeah.
Which is
Well,
crazy.
it's over 300 pounds.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
God,
but
I have Googled it a few
Yeah.
times, but I'm embarrassed.
For anyone watching, the weight limit on UFC heavyweight division is 260 pounds.
And that's 120 kilo.
And that's 120 kilos. So
I was
you
over
had
it.
20
And
kilos.
what's crazy now,
Chatting like Brock Lesnar.
but then now, like you just said before we put the camera on,
We'll stick a before and after on the podcast.
before we put the camera on, like I said, he's like 83 kilo now, and that's waking up because he's fighting at 81.
I do a session and I see on weight every
And like I've seen you like when you would, like you said, when you was in shit, killing yourself to get to 84 kilos.
To fight at middleweight 84 kilo, no matter what, I was 5 kilo heavier than that, so I was 89 the night before the weigh-in, without a doubt. I'm waking up now. I'll wake up a week Friday on weight, I'd imagine. If I gotta go to the gym, it'd be nice because I won. On the Thursday, I won't even have to cut weight. What I'll do my normal day, drink plenty of water, go to bed. Wherever I wake up, I might have to go to the gym. If I don't have to go to the gym, I don't.
I can't wait to watch the fight because I was down there for the last one, and it's like in terms of opponent last time to this time, it's a massive step up. And you know, the guy last time was a bit of a white collar fight there.
Yeah,
but I also think like people will watch your last fight and think like, God, this will be too much for him.
Yeah,
but like. This is the closest I've seen you to what you was like when you was in the UFC.
Do you know, genuinely, I think my boxing ability now is better than it was then because I specifically just
pure boxing with Gav constantly.
I'm sparring really good level boxers and doing well against something like I spar that Kieran Harden. He's a much better boxer than me, but when you catch him with a good clean shot, because I've stepped back out the range and caught him a shot, you know you've landed a good shot because he don't give you all for free.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the type of things I'm doing with good lads now. And like you know, I'm sparring high level boys, and I think pure boxing is the best I've ever been. Obviously, if I do look for the MMA route going forward, I'll have to work a lot on other stuff.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good to concentrate on one art, whether it be grappling or boxing or type, because you now know that, right, I can sit off that a little bit if I can go back concentrate on my grappling and wrestling.
That's it, yeah.
I think as well, but the biggest one for me is it's your lifestyle outside of the gym, not just the fact you're training so hard, you going with Gav, you're training a couple of times a day. The fact, you know, you've given up alcohol completely now. And I can just see in your persona and your physical appearance, the way you are, but you seem much happier and physically it's the best I've ever seen you, but you're looking well and happy.
With the alcohol thing, like I said, like it's a weird one because on paper I would have said I was an alcoholic because I was drinking so often. But in reality, I was never like alcohol dependent or anything like that. What it was, I had a terrible relationship with alcohol from a kid.
Yeah.
I just, you know, if I had an early finish at work, I'd have a drink because I had an early finish.
Yeah.
I've been a long day at work, so I'll have a drink. And all of a sudden, I'm drinking 4 or 5 times a week instead of the 2 times on the weekend. Normal people do. And that progressed. And bear in mind, because I started drinking young, like a lot of boys do around. We all started drinking young. And I carried on going. So I'm on like nearly 4 months now, completely sober. And that's what I've been racking my brains, and it's honestly the longest I've ever been sober.
Yeah. Well,
since I was about, maybe 12, 13, like in reality, because
you know you said it, but you said about 12 years of age on, you were drinking. That's the culture, the values we see it all around us, don't we? Then you joined the army. There's a drinking culture within the army, you know, where you go out, you're young, fit, strong, you train hard all day, you'll have a pint in the night, trainer. And I suppose it gets to a point in your early 20s where you think, I can do this. I can
get away with it.
And, you know, we've had these honest conversations. I think probably towards the tail end of your career, as you're getting older, even though you still think in your mind, oh, I can start a couple of beers, maybe that's where you would have a horrific weight cut occasionally. No, it wouldn't, you know, we'll all be honest, because it is the alcohol what keeps the weight on you. It's bad calories. And looking at you now, but honestly, it's like night and day. Even the tail end of your career when you're fighting Strickland.
I weren't in a great shape, man, and I was drinking. And
look, how many rows have we had over the years?
You bollocked me for years.
I think to add to it as well, I think every fighter has probably got an addictive personality to do what you do, because
100%.
Because you've got to be a fighter, you've got to be addicted in terms of you'll never be at top level like you was. You'll never be a top level UFC fighter without an addictive personality, because you've got to have that addiction to the buzz of the fight to get you up for training 2-3 times a day. If you haven't got that, you might be able to crack on as an actor.
I got a good little story for you, because I noticed this over, like I said, it's mad as well, being sober, the different in clarity of noticing things that I noticed. One of the things I noticed, right, was because when I first decided something, I went to like a couple of AA meetings. Didn't like them whatsoever. I thought it was like f***ing cult. It was lads there who haven't been drunk for 26 years, and they go to 4 meetings a week. And I was like, this is f***ing weird. Why are you And then now I've realized, because I'm training I train 3 times a day without fail. If I haven't got nothing on, I'll go for a run. I just realized, like you said, because we got such addictive personalities, that's all I've done is change
what you're addicted to.
Change what I'm addicted to, like that. So I sort of understand them people who went to their meetings now, because originally I thought, fucking weirdos. I thought
their addiction is now going to the meetings 4 times.
Yeah, the attitude. And to start with, I found them really odd. I thought, but then I worked it out. I thought, well, hold on. Well, it's no different to me training 3 times a day.
And you've got to think, spot on. They turn up that meeting, they're venting, talking about the struggles they've had that week. If they don't have that outlet to outlet their struggles, what do you do? I'm going to have a pint. And then somebody like you said who's been 20 odd years without a pint, can you imagine the damage that does to him mentally? Think I've gone 20 years.
But
and look, you load the answers the same. It's not about just have that one pint. When you've got that alcohol issue,
that addictive personality, isn't it? It's got to be one extreme.
Oh, that was nice. I'll have 2. All of a sudden you have a night on it. Then you wake up a little bit and go, I'll have one more night on it now, and then I'll go back to sobriety. And it doesn't happen.
So with me, I'm sort of in the middle with that at the minute, because I'm not fully there. I'm in the middle with it. I got in my mind, a year, because I started off do 3 months and then 6 months, and so now I'm sort of thinking a year, and I'll see where I'm like. If I feel that I can be, have a sociable drink, I'll do it. But if I feel like I'm going to fall off the edge, I wouldn't do it again. I sort of, in my head, I don't want to be a person who can't have a drink. I'd like to be strong enough to just
find the balance.
The balance. Like go out there and then think, I gotta go to a run tomorrow because I fucking shouldn't have. I went a bit too far on Saturday, so I done extra running this week. That's it. But I'm confident where I'm at now. I'll know whether I'm ready to do that. So I just wouldn't do it if I don't.
The mental clarity,
clarity.
Because you'll probably, like you said, you're the longest you've probably been sober since 12 years of age. So
100%.
The fact that you've had 4 months or 5 months
4
now.
months, yeah.
Like I can imagine the mental fog and the mental cloud that you probably lived with for 20 years is non-existent now.
And it's mad. I didn't notice it obviously I've been groggy but it's mad. When you say clarity, that can mean all sorts of things. But honestly, I just see things where they are. I'm a lot just a lot calmer. I go
for that.
Which you may have struggled with in the past.
A lot of things. I don't know whether it's getting fucking older as well. I'm just,
it's relaxed. It's everything. Listen, it's for the first time in your life you've had, like you said, 4 months of. It's incredible as human beings what becomes normal. So waking up with that angle is normal.
Yeah, and then having a beer.
Going for a run with an angle, that's normal. Because you've always done it. Then all of a sudden, like you say, that clarity, look, what sort of performance could I have done 3 years ago if I... And so on. And I think I'll be honest, I think you had a bit of a dark hole probably after... You got cut from the UFC as a boy, didn't you?
And because I left the army for the UFC, didn't I? So it was the only 2 things I knew was MMA in the army, and they fucked off in the space of 6 months, or 12 months.
Yeah, so you had the double whammy.
It was a bit of a...
And then where maybe you'd had that, little bit of resistance to drinking, he was like, well, why not go out every night of the week? And that's where it spirals, isn't it?
Here's another good for you then, right? One of my buddies was explaining to me, with army pensions, because I think what happened to me is what happens when you leave, right? So one of my buddies was explaining to me about the pensions, and there's only one in 10 soldiers that claim it, because how they live their life on the build up to earning this pension. They leave the army. They leave the army, and they still try to drink. They don't do as much exercise anymore. They still try to do this. So they all die before they get the pension. And I thought basically that's what I was doing 4 years ago. I'd finished all the stuff I was doing and still living the same life without killing myself in the gym every day. And that's how I got fat. That's how I got worse. And mentally, that's I'm not just bigging up your gym, but that's the best thing I can take away from it mentally is just being back around the gym. I'm not in the gym full time with everyone. I do my 1-to-1s. I see people and I spend a lot. I train a lot myself and whatever. But just being around people with good energy and good mindsets is night and day.
It's the same as anyone, right? I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson, and he says you were made up of the people, the 10 closest people to you. That's what your personality traits and your behaviours.
Yeah, which makes
and he's spot on. If you hang around with boys who enjoy a pint, it's so easy to be distracted. I'll go and have one because they're nagging me. Go up. If you remove yourself out of them situations, put yourself, as you said, among like-minded people. The boys are all in camp at the moment, so no one's like saying, "Oh, Jack, should we go and have a pint after training?"
No one ever does that in that gym anyway, do they? Even out of camp, and no one's ever let's go for a beer. One summer, one at Christmas is that's it. It ain't people go down there whereas in every other walk of life, that's what you get is.
Let's go back. If you don't mind me asking, 12 months ago when your weight completely ballooned up, as you said, it was about a year ago, the last podcast. How long ago was that?
No, Christ, probably 2 years, wasn't it? Probably closer to 2 years, yeah.
So you started reaching your highest weights at that point. You started probably pulling back, not training as much.
Done nothing, did I?
Nothing.
Really?
End up then on that slippery slope of drinking more often, more regular. Do you mind talking to us a little bit of where you was in your head at that time? I know you suffered with depression and stuff like that.
I was in a terrible place, man. Yeah, I was massively depressed. I don't mean it I've lived a mad life, but the stuff I've done is not between the UFC, the army, and just shit I've done in my own life. It's been fucking mental, and it's and it's sort of I got to a point where all that come to an end. And also, I was just this big fat fucker. Do you know what I mean?
Almost blurred into one.
It just, I was massively depressed. I was in a bad place, and and if it weren't for getting back healthy and training, I wouldn't be.
Do you find when you was depressed that need for a pint was a lot stronger?
Yeah, well, so I just spoke to a lad today who's in a bit of a dark place. And I was speaking to him, I was I am one of these guys who stopped drinking because I've only done 4 months, which is to me is a massive amount.
Yeah, for you it is.
To other people, it's only 4 months. So I don't bang out loads of advice. But I was just speaking to a lad. I said, listen, if you have a bad day, have a drink with it, you'll have a terrible fucking day. And I've done that for years. Obviously you feel sound for 20 minutes because you're pissed up over half of your mates, but then tomorrow when you wake up, you'll be even worse. Yeah. And all that. And it's I was drinking daily to the back end, all the time.
Waking up and drinking?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I speak to soldiers now who tell me, I can't name mum and that, but it's I spoke to one the other day who's a sergeant major, and he's doing great in life. And he tell me if you wake up on a Saturday, you'll have a drink in the morning. And I'm don't realise that's mind blowing. That's to most people that's fucking abnormal. But do you know in that soldier life,
again, going back there, it becomes a norm. You are what you're surrounded with.
Yeah.
And the army in particular would be hard because if you're on barracks, if you on site,
and you work mad times.
And then all the boys are going. You're going to sit in the barrack on your own and
you're going to piss. Yeah, and
also to just touch on the army thing. I used to remember being 20 and I was in fucking uni and living with him, and I used to think by that age for you, you've done 12 months in Afghanistan. So I like you said, it's some of the stuff you've probably seen out there and just in general is not the norm, is it? So
no, it's going to cause trauma.
It becomes a way to cause it. It is, even if it doesn't feel like trauma. It probably is subconscious trauma. Do you know?
It's one of them ones I can't really touch on it because I don't really know what it would, for me, it was leaving the army what fucked me up.
Yeah.
Is it even though I know what you're saying because I've been in mad situations and all that sort of stuff, but for me, leaving the army and being lost was the fucking was the issue. Which which in reality is probably because I had this mad bond with the army because the shit we've done. And
and it's what you've done since, 18 years?
16 I joined, but just after 16,
It comes back to your identity, doesn't it?
It was all I knew.
Very much like the UFC, not the UFC, but I find it now, like, not on that scale, but like, now I've stopped fighting.
Exactly
or anyone, you lot, it's different. I see my mates, my family, everyone, what are you up to? How's it be? Average Joe sees me, like the first, and you had it for you, the first thing they say, when you fighting that? Oh, but the last fight. Oh, what about them? What about them? Whereas now that's not a thing. Like, that's slowly gonna, so you kind of find like your identity now without that being a part of it. And I think it's probably the same for you with the army.
Yeah.
And like you said, then you had the UFC fight. It's a bit different now because you're back fighting. But
but not as I know what you mean, because that is what you are.
Yeah.
And like
you imagine me going to the gym now and some greater being said, you can't train no more. You've got to stay from the gym.
Yeah.
In my life for 30 years, it'd break me. So
and that's what I mean. It was like, so I finished with the UFC, which was the only goal. To have one fight in the UFC would have been my goal. And I ended up having 8 in there, done well. And like, I finished that. I finished with the army. For the one fight, for the Shabazian fight was my,
yeah.
And then the next fight was Strickland, wasn't it? Was it? I think it was. No, I think I had one after.
The one after, I went in between.
So it was like less than 12 months, and then I was out to the UFC as well. So it was all I knew since I was 16, which before you're 16, when you're at school or whatever you're doing, you haven't really got an identity. Is when you leave, is when you got your identity. And my two identity was a paratrooper and a fucking UFC fighter, and I lost them both in the space of a year. I dealt with it wrong, mind. Like, I'm well aware of that, right? Like, fucking drinking that anyway. But that's how I did it.
Yeah.
But
it's easy to say in hindsight, isn't it?
No, now I know.
Like
you
I
said,
at the time,
I know, but
and talking about like the norm at the time, having a drink in the night was the norm for you because you train all day, you could get away with it, and then that's
what I was trying to get at with the pensions thing. It's you live the same lifestyle. So when I finished and I stopped training, I was living the same lifestyle that I was living, but not burning any calories. So that's how you gain the weight. And that's how all the soldiers never make it to their pension, because they used to waking up doing a 10-mile on a Friday morning, blah blah, doing it like that. They don't do that when they get out, and then all of a sudden they eat in shit, drink in shit.
Yeah, because
none of them make it to their pensions. So it's a fucking cop out.
Yeah. But again, I think the army probably a little bit clever now and have done their stats. They're a national machine. They know what's going on. There's a fella, I don't know his name. There's a fella lives up there, and he's a ex-marine, I think he is. I've had a good chat with him. He's got to be late 60s, and every other day he jogs down past there with a rucksack on.
Yeah,
he goes down over that zigzag there into land, comes all the way back up, and does his run every day. He got to be late 6. And he said, I've done it all my life. So he went the other way. He's like, I think he fixated on, I've got to carry on that lifestyle.
That's one that'll collect his pension.
Yeah. But how often do you see that?
So that's what I mean, is 1 in 10 collect their pension. Yeah. He's the one that's
the 1 in 10.
Looked after himself.
Surely people like him, they should be bringing in, speaking to soldiers leaving the same, right? I think you should have a bit more guidance when you quit the army. Speak to somebody who's been through it, like, but 2 paths. This is the one path you're going to go down, which unfortunately you ended up on, or you make some changes, you keep your fitness. Just a bit of guidance. And you see how many veterans you see homeless. It's because they've had no guidance. No guidance.
I'll be wary what I say because I'm obviously back in the army now. Yeah, but when I left, exactly what you're saying. I found out I was fighting Shabazian on the Monday. I was out of the army on Friday because they said I couldn't do both anymore. So, like, all your resettlement, all the stuff you do to get yourself in order to get out of the army, I didn't have not a fucking thing. I was just gone. Got like, it was like, cheers for you, 12 years. Yeah. See you later. And like, obviously, I've gone back in now. It's a completely different.
You want to tell them what you're doing now? You're back in.
So all I do now is MPGS garden. So it's just garden camps. It's all right job. It's steady and it's not exciting like what I used to do.
Bit safer though.
But but that was the exciting part in it. But but funny enough, the camp I look after is a Pyro Edge camp, so it's fucking brilliant. I spend a lot of time with their blocks, but
I think it's sort of, from what I can make, it works well with your lifestyle as well, with the training.
Oh,
and
so
the
you do a bit
fighting.
of training down there with them, don't you?
I train a couple of the companies. I do things for them, and like you said, because I work, I'm in the army full time, but I'm a shift worker. I work 4 days on, 4 days off.
Yeah.
So,
I'm still living at home. You're traveling to work now, don't you?
I know where I know where I'm working for the next 2 years. I've got no dramas, and then you book. So you're only working 6 months a year if you think about it. But then you book your leave off. You're only working about 4.5 months a year.
Yeah.
So I got all that time to do what I want. I spend a lot of time with my daughter, and I work a lot. I train people. It's ideal for my lifestyle. And plus, obviously, I can add on to my pension and stuff.
With you said about your daughter, like one thing I think is safe to say that you've always been a wicked dad. Like even when you was going through your dark times and your rough patch, obviously see on Instagram you still have your daughter every week, and always been like a constant in your life.
How old are you now, Jack?
7.
How big? Because I remember her being born and all that. Obviously, how big of a change in your mindset did that factor into as well? The fact that, like, obviously the better I am mentally, the better you're going to be for her, kind of thing.
So
as well.
unfortunately, it took me to get to my lowest point before I realised, I thought, fucking, what are you whinging for? You've got a beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
Girl, like.
And we've had these conversations in private.
I think, like, do you know, you say brilliant. I could have been better, but I'm trying my fucking best. Like I got a brilliant relationship with my daughter, but you know, I'm doing everything I can to be around and that's why this job I could. There's lots of jobs about it that pay me a lot more money, and I was working away in London, Surrey, and that but I was away like 3 weeks of the month, and then I come home and I got to split that week up between my house and her mother would have her. So I'm only seeing my daughter a couple of. So I've taken a lot of like cutbacks in my own life just to make sure that I'm a constant in my daughter's life.
Well, if you don't mind, and again, I'm going to touch on a dark spot for you. What was that defining moment where you thought, "This is it. I'm going to make the change"?
Well, you know, I was close to suicide. Yeah. I did. You know, I attempted it.
Yeah.
I was in the worst place ever, and I can't even. I haven't really spoke. I can't. I don't know where to come from. It could, like, I was in the gym training people at 12 o'clock, stone cold sober. I left the gym at 12, and it happened by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't remember a fucking thing. I can't. And it was a 13-year anniversary of a bad event, and just took me for years.
No, I can remember it. I can remember the day because I always remember you'd seen your car outside the gym, and I pulled up the gym to train, and I was like, "Oh, Jack's here doing privates," and I come in, and you weren't there, so I was like, "Oh, I don't know, perhaps his car broke down or whatever," and then. I remember you came back outside the gym then, and then you seen him, didn't you? And then we was down the gym, we had a phone call, and I was like, fucking this and this is happening.
Yeah.
But so, that turned everything for me.
So was that point where you think you've gone, right, I need to make some changes?
Oh, 100%. And don't get me wrong, because that was 12 months ago. I've only been sober the 4 months.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, it hasn't been easy, but I changed it. Everything still changed.
Change from there.
But what the point I'm getting at is, like, you had your last fight. How long was that?
August. I still wasn't good.
Yeah. You know, you've been open and honest, and you was drinking right up until the day of the fight. You know, you had that fight. How long after that then was it? Like, where you been total 4 months now?
Yeah.
Where was that flash gone? Do you know what? I'm going to kill it altogether. I'm going to stop.
It was there, but it was like, so...
It was a drawn-up process to get that point, having the courage to go no more.
And it was more because I didn't... So I know I had a problem, right? But I didn't think of it that way. I thought, like, try and get it this way, do this. Like, work around how you want to do it. Oh, I want to cut back and do it. And then that happened for months and months until I thought, do you know what? No, what needs to happen is just cut the, so it took a couple of failed attempts at doing it other ways. It wasn't no wanting it. It was trying different things, and it weren't working. And I thought, do you know what? It's only one thing.
Do you mind talking about, like, you went and seeked help then?
Yeah. I went to, gosh, well, I had a couple of different hospitals. As you know, I spent a couple of nights in cells and stuff, and it was like, things were going mad, and it was like I ended up in an hospital for a little bit, Because I had a lot of weird things with my physical health.
Yeah,
which fucking spiraled me as well.
Well,
like,
do you remember?
No,
you I remember speaking. You only thought there was a chance they thought you might have cancer.
Two different doctors told me. I even took my sergeant major to a doctor's appointment with me, and I was hoping they'd see. And again, they put it down that route and said that to me. I was like, in my head, I literally, the day they said that to me, they said, oh, you've got problems with your stomach, you've got this, that, and that. You've had 2 blood clots in your leg now, and we got a real funny feeling it's cancer, so we can send you for all these tests. First thing I did, I was on my push bike. I left the meds in, cycled off, and went straight to the shop, bottle of drink, got fucking drunk out my nut.
Yeah.
And so a few little kickbacks like that happened, and then it was only, like I said, it was only a few failed attempts, trying it different ways. Not failed attempts, they just weren't working.
Yeah, weren't working, yeah.
And then, like I said, I went through I tried it, because the thing I can, because like I said, I don't think I was an alcoholic. I had a bad relationship with alcohol.
Yeah.
So I know drinking a lot, that's alcoholic, but I could, bear in mind, I drank my whole career for fighting.
Yeah.
And I could stop for X amount of time for a fight and whatever. That ain't someone who needs to have a drink. That's someone who's drinking because they want to have a drink.
Yeah.
And that was my problem. It was like I had a bad relationship, like to most people, on a Wednesday afternoon, they finish work, they just want to have tea with their missus and go to bed. Like for me, I'd rather have a couple of beers, and it was like, to most people, that sounds mental. To me, that was normal.
Yeah.
And then, it gets bad. But once I realised that if you just cut it all completely, and it's like, again, I got an addictive personality, so do you know like an app that tells me the amount of days I'm sober? I'm on that, and I'm obsessed. I'm addicted with that.
No, I remember.
It's obsessive.
You say about the addictive personality again, like to go back, and I remember being at the last fight, and the fight went how it went, and I remember saying to your brother Mark, I was like, right, something to go and give you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he said to me, look, we're going to do this, and this. He needs to wean himself off it. And I remember saying to him, that ain't going to work because he got an addictive personality.
No,
I thought, I remember saying, he won't be able to wean himself off because he's that addictive at everything. Yeah. If he has one, he's going to spiral to 2, 3, 4.
I don't see the point in having one beer, and I still, even now as I don't drink, I don't understand something to have one beer.
Yeah, I've always said, like, if I go out for like a bit of food or whatever, I'll have a Coke.
Yeah,
I'll have a couple of drinks if we have a night out, but I don't ever have just one. I don't.
Yeah.
No,
and that's mad because it took me to stop drinking to realise, like, do you know, like how mind blowing I used to think it was. Do you know, if you go out for a meal with your missus and dinner, a pint of food, or if you go, it was loads of little things I've done especially over the last
army mentality, got to have
and the Valleys mentality.
It's the Valleys mentality.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near a pub, you've got to have a fucking pint in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
half the pubs have shut.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we still have lost.
Well, I go for food tonight with Wookie. Only the spoons, and since I started drinking, bear in mind, during their times as well, it was like Remembrance Day. I've never done one of them sober. Yeah. My birthday, I've done one of them sober. Christmas, New Year, all these, like, but they're things, do you know, like, now going out for a family meal or whatever is normal to me to have but it takes a couple of months.
Hey, half the pubs are shut. He's banned from
he's banned from the ones that are open.
So he's very selective of where he can go, which I was over the moon. Do you want to touch on that? Like, you made the decision to go to try rehab, didn't you? For a couple of weeks?
That was more like.
How did you find that?
So I've tried loads of different.
Explain. You went in full time.
I went into an hospital, and I spent a couple of days. Worst thing I ever done in a way, because I wouldn't have dependent. It was that's the whole thing, because it's different,
different levels of it,
different things of it. Yeah, like people, literally shake if they don't have a drink, and get really ill and stuff like that. But mine was just drinking a lot. But going into the hospital, you automatically have your license take off you.
Your driver's license?
Yeah, which I didn't know. Because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Because I basically done it on my own after the thing anyway. I made a conscious decision, and since the day I made that decision, I stopped drinking. But yeah, there's loads of different help and that you can get out there. you've got to try a lot of different things because it don't work for everyone.
No, everyone's different.
Like I said, the people who go to AA absolutely love it and they're obsessed with it. I found it like a cult and a bit mental. Like the same as them hospitals, I think. They don't really do a lot for you. And the amount of people I know that come back out and start drinking again is... you've got to find what works for you. Like mine's training. Like, I sort of copied Gachi. I did. Gachi just stopped. And as soon as he stopped, that was it. He just cut it dead. And it was like, and because you will get loads of people, especially because there's lots of people who've had the same problem, tell you how they've done it is the way to do it. Yeah. So I've had loads of people tell me, you got to go to AA. You got to go. Yeah, you got. I go, well, no, I don't like them. I didn't like it. I tried all the ones that are free, like the Vale, alcohol, drugs. I went to them all. I tried everything for all of them are fucking terrible. I found doing it myself. Don't get me wrong. That might work for other people.
Yeah, I get you.
I find just doing it myself with my own back, taking accountability for myself, saying, well, no, you can't be trusted out drink, so don't. And I don't. So, like, when I feel like I can't be, I'll do it.
Did the stint in hospital, how long was you in there for?
Only a week or something like that.
But there's a week there where it's completely taken away an opportunity for you to have a drink.
Yeah, well,
right? So, do you feel that week give you that respite that when you came home, then that edge started to go, right, no, I ain't gonna drink anymore?
No, so it can't. So for me, because everything I've done for this, I volunteered for it. I mean, like, so when you go into one of them hospitals voluntarily, I was going out running every day.
Yeah.
So if I had wanted to go for a beer, if I wanted to stop and grab a beer, I fucking could have. So the option was still there. So in reality, it didn't do a lot. I do get what you mean, because you do. If you get put in there, you don't.
Yeah, but you still had that freedom. You could have gone and got a beer.
And I went out running every single day. And what I thought, because I'd made a conscious decision before I went there. I remember going up to the hospital, and I remember I was sitting in a car, and I said to myself, "Man, a couple of beers on the way," because it's my last chat. And I got to the day on my phone, the day that I had, and to the time it was about 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock in the morning, like, was my last beer. Like, and like I said, it was plenty of opportunity for me to still do that. So I can't comment on that, because other people, when you go in there, because even on the same ward, there's
people in secure areas.
There's people who can't leave, people who can and whatnot. And so I chose to. So with me, I knew what my problem was. You're like my friend. You was my close friends, and you've seen it for years. You know all the score. But for me, it took me a while to notice what was going wrong and whatever. So. When I did, that's when I made a conscious decision, right, I'm doing this, and I done it. Yeah. And it's the best thing I ever done, because I feel, like I said, the biggest thing I take away from it is the mental clarity of, fuck it, I'm a lot calmer. And
look how well you look. Yeah. I could just see by talking to you today.
Health is wealth.
And as you said about, like group, I tried group therapy. I lasted one session. I was like, no, I ain't doing it. I had, I met with a different counsellor. She was telling me to take all my anger and put it on a leaf and imagine a stream and sail it off down a stream. That just made me more nasty. And then you find the right fit for you. And I found somebody that was perfect for me.
Yeah, it's going great, isn't it?
It is.
It's going great.
I didn't lose like temper this week.
It's going great. It's been zero change in his fucking temper at all.
He's like,
no. Listen, I'll get out mom on you to vouch, so I'm saying. He hasn't changed a bit. He's still a know-it-all, right? It's still his way or the other. And he still loses his head about 4 times a day. He was doing something. What was he doing in the gym earlier? He couldn't find a password on the computer. What have you done at this computer? Then he's shouting at me. He's shouting at me. You've been on his computer? No.
Sorry, but I seen your status earlier about the boys leaving the gym.
Yes.
You was dropping it to you, but it's
passing down. I need him to get right, don't I? Otherwise, it's going to take me out like.
I flipped my lid Monday in the gym.
I seen it. I thought that's shaky.
What was I going to say? You know the first. They say like the first couple of days. When you go totally, and we won't go on about this too much long, because I want to get into the fight and stuff. They say the first couple of days is the hardest. For you, did you find it like you was clicking the first, or was it a case of, no, I flipped that switch now? I'm not.
Yeah, I done that. Like, I think it is hard for most people. Like, because I've done that before. I've done exactly, decided I wasn't going to drink, and then I got about 5 or 6 days and had a drink.
Yeah.
But this time was completely different. Like I said, I made a decision.
Yeah.
And that's how it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas I know what you mean. Them first couple of days, do you know when it's still the option? When I done it at home and I was like, right, that's me not drinking, get a Friday. And I was like, and it's very fucking
It's funny, isn't it? It's
like you're missing something.
It's like a double-edged sword, because I think the same mentality you probably had with being hard head, like, oh, I don't need to give it up, of probably then, it's that same mentality now, but it's the other side of the coin, where it's like, no, I've said I'm going to give it up, so I'm going to give it up. So now we're 4 months down the line and you haven't
exactly the same attitude, but on focusing it in the right way, not the wrong way. Yeah.
And so as you said, like your replacement for it now is just being in the gym, because I see like Saturday morning, Sunday morning, even late Saturday night sometimes I see you out for a run. So now
my biggest mistake was when I finished fighting, was the last fight was Strickland. I got cut. And then I just stopped training completely. Yeah. That was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life, because I think that second role.
Because you lost your social environment then among the boys as well. I mean,
do you know the good people I said I was surrounded with? I lost that.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded with the boys who like to sit in spoons.
Yeah.
And it's only one way you go when it gets like that. I'll never know. Do you know? If I weren't fighting now, I'll never not be in the gym. And I'm never going to act like I'm going to be, UFC and do this and all that anymore. But I'll never not be in the gym. I'll always train. I'll always keep fit. I'll always look after myself. It's
screws your head on, doesn't it? It makes you.
I think you will know that becomes your identity. Do you know what you say about identity? Then being that person who's always in the gym becomes your identity.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same. It just I quit that off my own back, and it was the worst thing I ever done. I shouldn't have done. If I had done that differently at the end, things might have been a lot different.
I think as well, you've come over the biggest hurdle. I think the biggest hurdle is the first 4 months, I would say, for anything, because how can I put this? How many times we've seen the boys over the years go, I'm going to go for a pint Friday, I'll drink then Saturday, I'll drink Sunday, wake up Monday hangover, or I'll leave training tonight, I'll wait till Tuesday, all of a sudden Tuesday comes, you go, oh, I just want to live on
because we all train people. Yeah. We all know them ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my last drink this weekend. And I'm gonna get fit. I'm gonna get fit.
Camp starts Monday.
Yeah.
Camp starts Monday.
When you put a run together, like, I know it'd crucify you now if you had a moment of weakness and had a pint, say, tomorrow. I know where you go, fuck me, I've just done 4 months. What am I thinking?
Yeah,
and I think that thought will probably keep on a straight and narrow now. And
do you know you said 4 months? So I was doing, Googling everything and it takes like 3 months to break an habit. That's like the pit paper one.
Yeah.
It takes 3 months to break an habit, and then like anything after that. So I set myself 3 months. Now I'm gonna do 6 months, and I probably end up doing a year. And who knows, I might not drink, but I want to be one of the people who can go for a drink and have a social drink. But, we'll see where I'll get that.
And listen, but at the end of the day, if you feel after 12 months, it might lead me down a dark path. Look how brilliant the 12 months have been. Like you say, clarity, waking up with no hangover, you can go pick your daughter up early, go swimming, go. These things, you probably don't realise it until a couple of months when you look back and think, me having my daughter to take her to do this today felt completely different to 12 months ago. Because, as you say, no mental clarity, feeling a bit stewed, a bit hungover, thinking about getting a pint as soon as I dropped it off.
Because I didn't notice it when it was happening.
Which we don't. It becomes normal.
Like I said, the clarity things meant like everything feels different. Like, training does go, like I just do a lot of shit now. Which I didn't, because I can't, right? Because you're drinking.
And just seeing who they've been open and talking about it. 12 months ago, you wouldn't have talked about it because you'd have been in denial saying, I'm going to drink. Why not speak about it? But now it's great to see that. For me, I just think you the last 5-6 months, you've grown as a person as well since this has come on. Do you know what I mean?
But if I turn into one of these ones who start walking up mountains and posting inspirational videos, well, please buy me a pint and get me back on the train.
If I see him on TikTok, I'm putting him straight in the spoons.
Because I don't want to be one of them geeks. I'm not drinking because it's better for me, healthy. I don't want to be
100%.
preaching to everything.
Everything in life, but is about what's best for you and not just you and the closest family.
And you don't need to preach it to everyone else too. It's like, I don't mind talking about it because it might help some people, because that fucking is common knowledge how dark
I think you will. Listen, but let's just stay local. Like you know, nationwide and worldwide. Anybody that's into the MMA knows who you are. But if there's somebody up the village who's struggling, and they can see you as an hard nut who's turned your life.
Oh yeah, I think it's
look, I'm telling you, I had problems, but I dealt with it, so I've dealt with it.
Exactly.
They should inspire a lot of people.
Do you know where the last place someone recognised who knew me was when I was in court? I was a bit, not really the place to do it. He's like, Jack Moore's not going to picture. I was like,
without giving the full details, can we have that story about what happened? Because it is brilliant, isn't it? About the tomatoes.
Which was
where you've been sent to buy some tomatoes and you ended up knocking somebody out in the middle of London.
Oh, right.
It's just going to incriminate him now.
Oh, you've had an opportunity.
I've got a big fine for that because I got done for assault in the So I was working in London.
This is clippable, this is.
Viewers, this is a true story and it's brilliant.
I was working in London and I was still drinking a bit and that. And I was out at work though, and I got sent to go pick something up from a posh shop at tomatoes. It was Highgate or something. And then it's go. I'm walking down the street. I'm from fucking South Wales, little valley boy. Say hi to everyone. Not like in London, they look at you like an alien because they said hello. Like I'm walking down the street and bump on the shoulder. I said, do you know? There's this guy. He's like a crackhead. I was like, fucking what? Sorry. I said, I think I said sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sorry, mate. And he just looked at me like, you want to fight me? I said, fucking what? So I ate him.
Obviously, he swung at you first.
Self-defense. So we just put that out. The disclaimer, self-defense.
I ate him. And then I booted him to make sure he wouldn't go.
Because he might have had a knife or something on. You know what I mean? I have to make sure that
I was quite chubby at the time. So I ran off and I go around this corner. I'm hanging out my... breathing stupidly happy. Two coffins come around the corner and jump out on the radio asking for a description. I was like, they do you need any help? They grabbed me and then obviously I got done for the assault on the police officers because they said I hit them. I didn't. Fuckers Parvis sprayed me. Fucking all sorts.
That's what the world's come to, like, all for defending yourself.
Yeah, nearly $6,000 I've had to pay out over that. Genuinely, do you know, because I had a couple of different fines. It was nearly $6,000 I've had to pay up. I'm still paying.
Yeah, but think of the bigger picture. That crackhead will never look at someone the wrong way again.
But did your boss have his tomato?
No, I lost my job. I did. Spent the night in the cell. Spent a few of them.
Yeah, I won't be the first.
We have none of this now. Now he's on the wagon.
Yeah.
He's just calm.
But listen, self-defense.
He apologised.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, but watch where you're going.
Right, let's talk about the fight.
Yeah. So, firstly, obviously, like the last one, you was in a bit of a place or whatever. But number one, how did it feel to be back in there after so long? And sort of how different, obviously you're going from the UFC to like fighting in cars. So I know it's going to be a big jump down to an extent, but how different did it feel kind of from going out there to fight an MMA fight then to number one, like the feels, all right, here we fucking go again, but also going back in there and it's bare knuckle now, there's no gloves, there's no takedowns. How different and how similar did it feel, I suppose? What was the mental process like on the fight day?
They all big it up like, oh, it's bare knuckle. Like, it ain't no different again it with the 4 ounces. We all know, like, they all think that there's some mad. And I'd seen someone give a prediction for my next fight. No, talking about the boy, say, oh, he's way more experienced bare knuckle. He's like, no, we ain't.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you probably had 300-400 street fights.
And the pro MMA against good lads with good, it ain't no different.
No different. I agree.
It was at the time I was still in that cloud, so I didn't have the clarity. So like it was all a bit of a blur. The fight, I just turned up, and the week before that fight, I spent a night in the cells after being tasered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, so I weren't, I was hardly prep of the century for it, but I just wanted to fight, and it done me the world of good because, I needed that kick up the arse. To be fair, the kid I fought, I've watched him now. He banged quite a lot of boys out, so I didn't really know he could. No, I just went in and didn't give a fuck.
I think as well, but when you sign with the UFC tag, when you BKB, you're probably quite hard at a match. What'll happen now, like I say, because you had like a ropey partner fight, you'd probably be a few put their hand up going, "Oh, I'll fight them," because they're thinking in their mind,
I'll beat the next
this same guy is going to come in.
No.
Yeah,
I genuinely believe in 2 weeks, the entire BKB world are going to go, hang on, this ain't even the same blow.
I rate the guy I'm fighting, and I think I'm gonna piece him up.
Yeah.
I like the guy. I rate him. I think he's good. I think I'm gonna hammer him. Yeah. Like you said, I think they're all gonna watch him and think, fucking hell.
And some people are made for that sport. Like, you know, obviously Georgie was the first one from around. He's done it. We've all known Georgie like that. Hard as nails, good Thai fighter, have it out on the street. Hard, mentally very tough. And then, like, we've always said, even before we started, if I could have picked three, it would have been you, Gachi, and John Phillips.
Yeah.
Genuine, like, people say to me, you know, who do you think? I said, Marshman, Gachi, John Phillips.
Yeah, bare knuckle's probably our thing.
If they go into bare knuckle, I think they'll all be world champions in their respective weight division. And I still believe I know. I think
it's good chance.
And I think John will with was he with the BKFC?
BKFC, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing Gachi's probably going to come back to a title fight, I would guess.
So I think his weight class, the title fight's on my next show, between Barry Jones and that Cincinnati. So I think whoever wins that, I think Gachi got to be fighting the winner.
I think so as well.
And that'd be nice. And then hopefully, you know, I get a title fight after this one, because they like the boy I'm fighting, and I think I'll do a number on him. So
is he ranked as well, Jack?
He's ranked third, he is.
Yeah. And what are you?
Fourth. Fourth after one fight. So I think they give...
Who's two and...
So I think... I don't know who two is. I think number one was Dan Lill, but I don't know what's going on here. Like,
Dan's retired.
No, he's another post now. He's
back. Dan
he said it was an emotional post. He's going to come back.
But the thing is with him, like, I haven't seen him at 81 for a long time.
So
they putting all these. I see these rankings. Like my last fight, I fought at 86. I was ranked at 81.
What did Dan just fight recently? What
88.
And he's a big lad. He's all there, isn't he?
So what I'm saying, I don't know what the score is with, but I know who the champion is, and I know he's that cub.
That's about marketing wise, right? If in Freeman, the promoter, you have a win year, which I'm 100% sure you will. It makes sense to give you the title fight because it brings a lot more eyes on you.
So they could either bring him over to fight in April
or send you over.
Send me over.
Yeah, he's American guy, is he?
Yeah.
I got to shout Dan Lill out for the best hashtag of all time. The hashtag get fucked. It's one me and the boys have attacked. No matter what you post, he chucks on your head. Hashtag get fucked. So I'm stealing that one.
I do like
but I'm stealing it. Yeah, but so obviously, like you say, you've had a hell of a training camp for this one. You've been in with Gavin Reese multiple times a day.
It's mad. I'm being a bit like what you was. I wouldn't even call it a training camp because I'm just training loads. And it's like
even out of camp. It's just
it's just.
Yeah, you haven't switched your training since you had a fight.
No, I'm just kept training. Hard,
doing your S&C as well. Which...
Yeah, I started back with Russ, and that was fairly recent. But I wish I'd done it a bit earlier. But you know. Next fight, you'll be in there flat out. But I've been in with him about 8 sessions. You know what essence he's like. You don't need a massive amount before a fight. Like, but I train up fucking hell. I enjoy running now. Like, you know, you're getting old and weird when you start enjoying running. I love getting out.
You always was that bloke when you were running.
Yeah. But normally,
because I used to say to people like, you would come into the gym completely out of shape. But you wouldn't tire in the rounds, and I've always years of running that mental.
People used to go on about like me training all the time. Used to be that fucking dragging me out of bed. I remember we'd have an hard session. He'd be like gym in the morning. I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going. He'd be like, yeah, you are. I'll pick you up last night, and then when we'd be on the treadmill. Like I remember, like don't sound a lot of people, but it always sticks in my. I remember I only ever used to run 5K, and then we went to Canada, and he was on the run in a sauna suit, like no carbs, cutting weight, and he ran 10K, and I remember thinking. Well, if he's running 10K, what excuse have I got to be running 5K? And I remember saying to him, how long do you reckon it take me to do a 10K? And he's like, well, just try and do it.
Do whatever time and then try to beat
and then I was the start of that. Like, so you've always, you was, when you was, you know, all in on the fighting, you was always the fittest in the gym, wasn't he? And like you said, he could have 2 weeks off, be out of shape and come back and still be 10 rounds.
He was coming over quite a lot and spot 10 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, well, it's out there now. It ain't even a secret. It popped up as well that you signed for the GFL.
Yeah.
So the plan, what do you reckon after this bare knuckle fight? Do you think it'll be MMA next, or do you think it'll be the hopefully a bare knuckle title.
I'm hoping MMA because they're paying a lot more. But no, I mean, I want to do the MMA because I think I've got a year left in me.
Yeah.
And like we've said,
I'd like to see
And a proper year as well.
A proper year, you're training
and
properly off the booze,
and
committed, and
you'd have to do
finish on my own too.
You'd have to do 77.
I think I could do 77.
Yeah,
oh, do 77 easy.
Yeah.
What are you today? Waking up
83, but I'd be 81 by Friday.
but at 83, you know full well I could get him to 77 tomorrow. If
I was going to say, well, like, you know, Oban is probably walking an 83 fight week, isn't he? You know,
Yeah,
Monday
fight
to,
week.
and was it a day Wednesday? So you could probably make it by Friday if you
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I could make it. I reckon I'll probably come in light on this fight. I'm meant to be fighting 81. I reckon I'll probably come in about 79, 80.
Yeah.
Is it same day weigh-in or
Day before.
day before.
Like, you know, I don't, as long as I'm hydrated, I'm all right.
yeah.
Like, but it's a weird one with this global fight league. The weight class is weird because they got me down as middleweight. I looked at that fucking
That's
chart,
like heavyweight, isn't it?
yeah, like 200 pounds.
Yeah, have you seen that? So
Yeah, so
bantamweight is 145.
right. So the reason behind that is
to stop weight
even-
cutting.
is if you have historically fought at so say for example like you fought a bantamweight then in your old days, you would automatically go up a weight division because they don't want you cut into bantamweight, and they try to stop the weight cutting. But it's not going to work.
Not gonna work.
People will just put bulk on and will weight cut. So if you look at like Brett's 145, we know we've done the PFL 145, but he won an actual 145 because he was always back. He
Always
looked outside
bantamweight,
and he always fought bantamweight. So we Jack have always fought 84 kilogram or 185 for the Americans. This is the thing. We've got a big American following. They've automatically moved you up a division.
So what have they got Brett down as?
145, which is bantam.
But
they've called bantam.
fucking hell, we talking about? Have they even those Bretts in there yet?
We don't know what Brett we know. So bantamweight.
Per se. Hypothetically.
Bantamweight across the world is 135 pound, but with the GFL, bantamweight is 145 pound. So they're adding £10 on every weight division to make sure.
So if Brett was to be in the GFL, obviously we don't know if he is or not yet, would he be down to fight at 145?
145.
Which is classed as bantamweight.
Yes.
So they would have him down as a bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
if
So
he
I
was to
would be
do
welterweight.
Yeah, so at the moment, middleweight for you would be 205 pounds
Yeah.
because they're trying to
Yeah.
discover.
so he would be a lightweight then.
Yeah, but him walking around, it wouldn't make sense to be welterweight.
Yeah, but that.
Because
But I don't see how they're not gonna be able to stop people unless they're gonna do like the ONE FC, are they?
No, they're not going to do any of that. They're just saying that if you have fought before, they're pretty confident that you're not going to try and bulk up. It's ridiculous. It's a mad old
They can't stop. What I'm saying is, like, say Brett was to sign and he signed at 145 and they said, oh, we're going to move up to 145 because you always fought a bantamweight. If he said to them, no, I'll do 135, can they stop it? Or?
Yeah, they're saying they'll stop it. But
right.
This is what they're saying. They say it'll be a point blank.
But with him, it'd be different because obviously he could say, well, look, my last bare knuckle fight was at 81
Yeah,
kilo.
exactly.
Yeah, and they'll see the way in. Like,
Yeah.
Because I think
There's got to be a way around it, I'm guessing, isn't there?
it would make sense if they do the draft. What they should have done is asked everybody, like randomly, like contact you today and go, Jack, jump on the stairs in front and video.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way of doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's all.
Yes,
it's-
I'm the
it's a
same
great-
as you,
It's a great
Shane.
concept, but until, like I said, we've had somebody have a fight and get paid.
Yeah,
It's all up in the air.
It's good because for me it sounds good, but at the same time it sounds complicated. Trying to be new, something different. If they chuck in money about, well, sending out contracts doesn't mean they
No.
because until you get paid,
Yeah.
we all know.
Do
what
us a
that's like.
favour, GFL. Hashtag get fucked and let the people cut.
Yes, I get fucked.
Well, we had a couple of questions, but they were all around. You pretty much answered. It was all around the GFL. The one was as well. Although you've only had one bare knuckle fight, what would you prefer, bare knuckle or MMA? But I think you kind of
So
answered that.
I people keep asking, was it like MMA is a lot more skillful. I think, no disrespect to Ben, but I think this for failed boxers basically. Like,
and there's a lot in there that are not even failed boxers, is there? They're just hard boys that have jumped in. And that's no disrespect because there's some elite level guys in there.
Yeah, there's some I starting to get good boys.
I don't want people thinking that I'm criticising it, but I think there's a massive gap between the top level guys and the bottom level.
No, you are right.
Where in MMA,
Yeah.
it's quite
You are
filtered
right.
down at a
Like,
step
I think
level.
a good example is that LT Nelson. If you look at his MMA record, I'll pull it up. Yeah, but I think he's got quite a mixed. He's fought on Bellator and stuff, but he's got quite a mixed MMA record. But then, like the rule set with the BYB, with the clinching, because you got a tight experience, suits him down to ground.
Is this allowed
He's
Barry last time?
Yeah.
There you go. He's 10-7 in MMA, so which is quite a not a journeyman, but it's a 50-50 record. You know, he's never gonna probably compete in the UFC then per se. But
I think the rules suit as well.
But at BYB, you know, but at BYB, he's just took out Barry Jones, who most people would say and was the best pound for pound fighter.
And I think
BKB. But look at Barry's pro boxing record.
Yeah.
It's the same as that Marco, do you know the big Croatian that he knocked up Brad Scott? If you look at his record, he's proper 50-50 as a pro boxer. Yeah. And he's an animal in his bare knuckle. Is it like, it is a difference.
Dorian Darch is another good example.
Yeah.
He's a machine in the bare knuckle, but, you know, and this isn't a disrespectful term, he was known as a journeyman in boxing. You know what I mean?
Gachi's MMA record.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's perfect for that sport.
Is it? Yeah.
I think as well that the step up you boys got with the UFC background, I turn it with a casual fan anyway, with an MMA background, is that you've wrestled, and I think in this new clinch,
this one is a bit different.
And pummel and know how to turn somebody off the ropes and clinch.
Well,
it's going to be a big game changer.
I listened to Barry Jones because he's fighting on the singer. He done an interview and he said exactly that. He said, the first 2 rounds I felt in control, and then he switched his tactic up, and I could feel he was comfortable in the clinch. He was hitting me in the clinch, and that's not something I'm used to. He said, I'm used to boxing where you tie up. You may work 2 or 3 seconds, a ref will split you again. Whereas this time he was leaning on me, working the body, working the head.
I don't know what you think, but I think this is why Ngannou done well against Fury. Fury's used to using his weight, clinching.
And then he's doing it with someone who know what they're doing in the clinch.
Turning him on the ropes as he would in an MMA fight. He was turning him on the ropes
with ease.
Yeah, you know. I think
styles makes fights, doesn't it? You know,
I think
and that's a perfect example of it. Like Ngannou was a tougher fight for Fury than he was Joshua. Joshua obviously knocked him straight out, but then I believe that Tyson would beat, if Tyson fought Joshua, I think Tyson would beat Joshua quite comfortably because his styles make the fights. Agreed.
Right, anything you want to thank any sponsors or?
Before we do that, we want a final prediction for the fight. This will be out next week, so the fight this weekend for you against Alex Wilson.
I think I get him out there in the second round as well.
Is it 5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think I get him out there. 5 threes. I think I'll have him on the edge towards the back end of the first round. I think I get him out there in the second, if I'm honest.
I predict first round. Just because
I'm gunning for it. I'm gunning for it, and I reckon towards the back end.
I agree with you. I think depending how you approach it, I think if you feel your way in a little bit, it'll be second, third round. I think if he comes out gunslinging and he wants to do that early, and I think you'll take him out pretty early. And I think people will be shocked at how different of a version. Just in your body shape. They're just going to see in the shape of you. Like you'd lost, like, to what we'd seen at the last fight, you'd lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
but that was just like, what do you call it? Like, just food and energy deficient. Like now, you said, you fucking got abs. You're doing your S&C. So I think people will be totally shocked. And prediction for the GFL. Do you think you'll fight? Will that be this? Is that going to be this
draft
year?
This Friday, isn't it?
So I think they're gunning to fight in April.
It's April is the first fight. The draft is Friday, where you'll all be picked by the different team members.
So how does that? Sorry, I know we got to go off on another fucking tangent, but how does that work? Because there's like New York, Dubai. Right. So if Brett gets picked for, say, Los Angeles, wherever. Yeah. Are they going to do like a home and away?
No. So you just represent
he's just under that team.
Yeah. So he continues his training.
So
with
what's the crack? So why, if that's the case, then why have these teams got coaching?
I think what they have done, they brought in like the like Vanderlei and
Rafael Cordero.
Rafael. You've got Javi and the heavy.
Yeah, but for example,
but what is you selling that team then through high profile stars?
Yeah. So, but for example,
it don't make a lot of sense.
Me and my team go and coach, and they just oversee.
So they'll oversee. So I'm going to say, say Brett got picked for Dubai because I think Khabib is the team manager, and
Khabib is he?
I'm sure Khabib is, and Javier Mendez is the coach.
Yeah.
He's going to obviously have nothing to do with
the team London as well.
Yeah, right. So Luke Barnett's the manager, and Ian Carpenter is the coach. So if you fight for Team London, Carl Prince, that doesn't mean Carl Prince is going to be in the corner or nothing like that. He's just going to oversee.
Yeah, I think they give you the opportunity. I seen something of that Carl Prince talking about it last night, and he said they give you the opportunity
if you want to.
The contract is as well. To be fair,
you take Khabib being in the corner.
They fly.
Jump on in, but
and like the UFC, they fly 2 coaches in and put a hotel up for 3.
Oh, nice.
So
you just got to pay for 1 flight.
No, they pay for it. So if you're only going to take 2 coaches, they'll pay for both.
But if you take 3,
you'll have to pay for extra one.
So like
with the UFC, they just pay 1 fight to 1 coach.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So if you imagine, if it's like a money thing, it is handy. So say, for example, Brett said, or Jack said, I can't afford to take another coach. Me and him could fly out.
And you take
then I could take Sal, jump in the corner with us.
Yeah.
So we got somebody helping out.
It's a good, look, it sounds good, doesn't it? It does sound good.
Listen, it'd be nobody happier than me because it's given a lot of...
Yeah.
But, there's been a few fighters I've noticed last week. I don't know if you've seen my comment saying, can you remove this post? I seen
on Instagram.
On
Instagram, they announced a guy signed and he's in fucking prison.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are we signing a contract from jail?
This is another one.
So stuff like this is why it makes me think it ain't going to happen.
Another lad then has done like a on the Instagram. They've released this fight. He's going, can you remove this post? I am
PFR, wasn't it?
I am with another company. I have not signed any contract with him. So it just makes you think, what is going on?
But it's mad because then on the flip side, you've got people like Tyron Woodley coming out and saying, I'll get more for my first fight than I got to fight Jake Paul, which is crazy.
But, like, it's like the money side of things, I think, is a bit making most because I got told what they was going to pay me, and then they sent me a contract, and it was more money. It was like I got told I was getting a fight money and a win bonus, and then I got sent a contract for a flat rate, which was more than both of them. It was like, how is it not been a conversation being dealt with me? Like, I agreed to one sum of money and you sent me this money.
The only worry I do have is the money behind it is anonymous. So we
I'll take it, bro.
When the shit it's a fan and nobody gets paid, who do we blame?
Yeah.
If I go like, well, Elon Musk is a tech wizard and he's funding it, you go, hey Elon, where's my money? Who do we go? Marshman, I'm paid. Who am I going to? It's like, I don't know, mate.
Like I said, I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid for it when I fought in America. First time I fought in America, I didn't get my full money. And what fuck about now was I could end up giving up.
Yeah.
Fuck it, don't worry about it. So I wouldn't want to go for that again. But if they pay, if they do pay, who knows? It might.
Like I think after Friday, I think we'll be in a better. We'll know who's signed, who's in what, how the format is, where the shows are going to be,
and also after the first show, like.
Yeah,
if they run a card and there's no rumours of people not getting paid or whatever, then we're off to the races.
But it'd be good, and they're going to do a UK show.
I think
so. I've been told.
That'd be good.
Unofficially, there's nothing available. They're pushing for a UK show,
one in every team country.
Yeah.
UK and Dubai would be nice, no tax.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. Once
there would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But there we go. I think that's about it.
So Habib's in charge of Team Dubai.
I'm sure I seen that. Javier Mendez is definitely the
seen
coach.
Javier.
I'm sure I seen him as Khabib, but don't quote me on that. It was another one of them.
Javier and Velasquez, isn't it?
There we go. I'm wrong. It was Velasquez. It wasn't Khabib. Hey,
he was up me the other day, wasn't he?
Kane, he was out in Albuquerque. You went to that guy's face.
See, Dan Lewell put a picture up with him, didn't he?
Yeah.
I seen that.
I was thinking about this the other week. There was somebody mentioned him, and like he was put into jail. And his interview, he said, like, he kept me insulting all the time, he drove him mad. I'm like, who's going to go and mess with the heavyweight champion world with the Mexican background with brown pride on his tattoo? I dare say old Kana got a few back.
Oh, listen, and he's in jail for trying to shoot at a paedophile who, allegedly done whatever with his daughter. So I don't feel like there's going to be many people in jail that have an issue with him. Do you know what I mean? And like you said, the brown pride tattoo. I feel like if I don't get you into the Mexican gang in jail, nothing will. Do you know what I mean?
I would have thought he'd
and he's fucking 6'3", probably 270 pounds.
Like, ain't gonna want to fight with a fucking
no. And moves like a bantamweight.
Yeah.
But I think we good. Any sponsors or anything?
No. I got a few sponsors for this fight, but I've seen it all.
Yeah, we'll chuck Jack's Instagram and stuff in the description, but to be fair, most people on here are going to follow you anyway.
And I just want to finish by how proud we are of you. But just keep.
I tell you what, we'll finish on. For anyone who is in a bit of a dark spot, like you was, whether it be from drink or anything else, what would be the one bit of advice you give them?
You just got to start somewhere one day at a time. I think, like I said, don't set yourself a stupid goal of, I'm going to do, I never drink it again, I'm never doing it. Set yourself little goals and try and beat them every time, and then better yourself daily.
And like yourself, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. And I tried it. I tried loads of different things before I found what worked. You got to be willing to give it a go, and it's like, there's no one coming to fucking help you. You've got to want it.
Spot on. Right. Thanks to the Hammer for coming on, and everyone tune in to watch him get a big KO next Saturday. If you haven't got tickets, make sure you watch the pay-per-view. And no doubt, me and the old fella over there will review it on the Sunday.
Are we going to announce our next guest?
No, we're not. Why are you so
I don't know. I just like being in front.
Well, Sean George is going to be out next, as you know. But you want to announce the one after?
No, that's what I was on about, Georgie.
Oh no, I thought we said on the last one Georgie was on.
No, I didn't.
No, Georgie's on next week, and then we got a big guest. Not you and Georgie, and big guest, but we got a big we got a big name in the week after, which we won't be announcing, despite how much he's just on announced.
I wasn't even on about the next
Yeah, of course he wasn't. Right, over and out. See you next time.
Cancelling on me.